How do you see that issue of credential sharing, unauthorized, and so forth, of TV everywhere? Is it a problem? What's being done? What should be done?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting question, and I think in a lot of ways the notion of sharing credentials or even more broadly signal theft has been one that's been of concern within the pay TV industry for a long time. So now as we move to new distribution models, new consumption models, consumers having access across different screens, and it's less based upon where you are and being physically plugged in and more associated with credentials, clearly there are issues then if there's a disproportionate number of folks sharing credentials. I think the important thing for the pay TV providers and the programmers not to lose sight of is that this is still an emerging consumer behavior. It's an emerging opportunity for extending pay TV content to multiple screens, and not to be focused on where there's theft, but trying to encourage usage. And then gradually new technologies will be introduced to help mitigate the theft issue or this credential sharing issue. But as we go along this process, encouraging more folks to be engaged with these apps across different screens is the most important facet of the market now.
And how do you see the evolution of what we call TV everywhere, of linear programming from cable networks being available, consumers using that? Where are we in terms of the evolution of that platform?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in I guess a confusing period, particularly from a consumer perspective. Certainly for those of us who follow the industry, there's a lot of different moving parts. But from a consumer perspective, I can go to an app that's offered by my pay TV provider. I can go to an app that's offered by my favorite programmer. All those apps look a little bit different. They have different interfaces. They have different sets of content available. Sometimes it's live content, sometimes it's just on demand, sometimes it's X number of episodes, sometimes it's lots of seasons of back episodes. And I think part of the problem now is there's just inconsistency, and that inconsistency is understandable as we're in this period of transition, experimentation, figuring out models that work for each individual programmer. But I think over time we'll have to start seeing some consistency, some ease of use with respect to logging on, maybe ease of use with respect to logging on in my house versus out of my house, maybe more robust offerings from the pay TV providers themselves so consumers don't have to go searching for content across multiple apps from different programming partners. But again, it's all part of this evolutionary stage, and you could look at it and say, let's be disappointed that we're not farther along. On the other hand, look at it and say, let's be excited that we're